Hello again and welcome back. In this module 2, we will go through what we went to in the first module, which is adding a patient and administration of a single crown. We will do these quickly and then go into the acquisition. So let me share the screen from the PrimeScan. And start the Connect software. And once the Connect software has started, I will go into add a new patient, and I will call this patient module 2. So last name will be 2. First name will be module. Again, I'm using the touchpad just so that you can see everything I'm doing. In the date, I will select today's date also, 18th of February 26. File number, again, I will choose 0077, and dentist name, I wrote it last time, so I will find it here, so I will select the same name here. Okay, so let's click on Add Case. And in this case, I have a single restoration. We have a crown, full contour on tooth number 7 over here. And I will select the material as lithium disilicate. I will select the final shade as Vita Classic A2. I will not select the stump shade. The moment I click OK, my choices, my selections are saved. So crown 27, full contour, lithium disilicate, Vita Classic A2. Then everything is fine. I go to acquisition. In the acquisition, it will not be easy to show how I'm holding the camera, but it's a pen grasp or a handpiece grip, that just like I'm holding the handpiece. You want to try to always do what is called linear scanning, which is scanning in lines, at least in the beginning. We will come back to this topic with every case that we work with. And if it's a quadrant or a full arch, let's do a full arch in this case. Okay, so how do I start scanning? I start scanning from the last tooth on the occlusal surface. Sorry, there was a lag. So let's check again. Okay. So I start scanning the last tooth, okay, on either side, occlusally. And then I tilt palatally. I try to scan the full palatal surface in one line. Until I reach the occlusal surface of the last tooth on the other side. So this is, let's say, the first line. We started occlusally on the left third molar, occlusally, tilted palatally, scanned the full palatal surfaces in one scan. and then I ended up on the occlusal surface of the right third molar. Now I can start from where I stopped, and this is one of the advantages of this linear scanning, is that whenever you stop, you know where you stopped, you know where you need to pick up your scan. Of course, there could always be some gaps palatally, as you can see on both sides, but it doesn't matter at this point. And then this is where we stopped. So I take the whole occlusal and incisal scan in one go. So this is my second line. So the first line was the palatal, starting from occlusal, palatal, taking the full palatal side to the last tooth on the other side. Then I came back, occlusal, incisal, occlusal again. And then the last part is divided into two. So this is where we stopped. I take the labial tilt and I take the labial scan until the midline. Okay, then I need to reposition my hand, and I start from the last tooth on the other side and I take the other half of the labial surface. So again, and we will do it again in the lower jaw, but what we did is I started from the last tooth occlusally on either side. I scanned, first scan was a palatal line, the palatal linear scanning, and then I returned on the occlusal, incisal, and then occlusal surfaces. And then labial, I took one half until the midline, and then I started from the other side and I took occlusal, labial, and then the other labial side in one go. Now I have more or less a finished model, and you can see that from these three scans, let's repeat it one more time. So occlusal, palatal, take the full palatal in one go if possible. If not, at least you know where you stopped and where you can continue. I go occlusal, I take the full occlusal, scan, and then I tilt labial and I scan the labial until the midline, and then I go to the right side, occlusal, labial, and scan the other labial side. Again, we will still do it in the lower jaw. What's important here to discuss is, or are the gaps. So all these gaps that we see, some of them in this specific case, I can leave. So I can leave this gap because I'm not working on the central now. But if I was working on the central, I would have to scan the proximal contact of adjacent teeth. So where is my focus? Of course, you're always free to carry the camera back and to go back and to just fill any gaps that you can see. So I can always come here, fill the gaps. Let me fill the gap next to the anterior prepared tooth, and I can always work freehand to fill any gaps that might be there. Okay, important is to select the right angle of doing this. But the question again here is, where is my focus area? Or let's say, where is the area where I must not have any gaps? And this area is the crown, of course. It's this crown we're working on. So I cannot have any gaps in this prepared tooth. I cannot have any gaps in the adjacent proximal contacts. Okay, from one side and the other side. These I need to fill. So usually after I finish my linear scanning, I don't stop. I automatically go back to, so again, I will delete and rescan this one more time, just so that it's clear. And again, starting from the occlusal left molar, and then palatal, and then I take the whole palatal in one go, and then occlusal, and then I scan the whole occlusal, incisal, and again occlusal in one go. And then the labial I divide into two halves. One half I take this way, stop at the midline, and then this other half I take it from the right side. Okay. This should give you the most accurate arch scanning that you can get. Then I don't stop. I automatically go to the prepared tooth. Make sure on the left screen, on the left part of the screen, you need to see what the camera sees. You see, this is a good vision of the labial margin. But if I tilt a little bit labially, you see that this is a supragingival margin, and I need to scan what's below this margin as well. Otherwise, you will get gaps here. Same from the proximal. So I always try to scan this tooth the best I can. You see also from the palatal side, the more you move, the more you see the margin more clearly. Okay? Then I need to scan the proximal contacts of adjacent teeth, fill it up, and now I can see if I need to scan anything more or not. So I believe that I scanned. I don't care at this point about any gaps in other areas. The only area where I wish to not see gaps is the labial of the premolars, because this is usually where I scan my bites from the premolar and first molar area. Please make sure that it is scanned labially from the labial side with not a lot of gaps, okay? Because we will need to refer to this area when we are taking our bite. So I will go to the lower arch, to the lower jaw, and I will scan the lower jaw again, exactly in the same technique. Occlusal, last molar, right side, and then I take a whole lingual surface in one go, as much as possible. Then occlusal, then occlusal, incisal, occlusal again, and then the labial I'll divide into two halves. One half is until the midline, and then I go from the last tooth on the left side and take the full labial area over here, okay? And this is good enough for an posing. Of course, I can always fill any gaps that I see. So these gaps on the anteriors, I can always fill, but do I have to? The answer is no, it's up to you. Basically, it is up to you, okay? So this is the lower model, also special care to the premolar, first molar area, premolar, first molar area, and this is done. Then I will go to the bite, and in the bite, I want to make sure that the patient is biting well. Always tip, if you're using the cart design, this is not a feature in the laptop version, but if you're using the cart, there is the foot pedal. Please check where the foot pedal is. And if I click it one time upwards with my foot, the camera starts. If I click it again one time upwards, the camera stops. So always, so now it stops, now it's on. And when it's on, you can see that there is this red square on. If I hold the foot pedal and hold it upward, it turns into this yellow plus or yellow cross. And I'm keeping my foot on the foot pedal. I'm still holding. And what this means is that you are not scanning. So I am holding, I'm pausing the scan. I am making sure that I'm in the right position. Sometimes when you enter the scan, the patient will open, and then you ask them to bite. You can even ask them to open and bite and open and bite until you make sure that they are biting in the correct occlusion. Then you ask them not to move. And then as you see, I let go of the foot pedal and I scan upper and lower premolars and first molar. This is the area that I use for my bite. Two things you're going to see. One thing is that this is the area where we scanned our bite, and you will see that it's stitched with the full upper and lower jaw. So once it manages to stitch well, it will bring you the shadow, this light color from the upper and the lower. If I delete this bite and I rescan it, you will again see if I scan only the upper teeth, but not the lower teeth, then you can see that I can only stitch to the upper jaw. It cannot stitch to the lower jaw because it does not have enough information. The software is not sure that these are the lower teeth on the same side. But once you continue scanning on the lower jaw, there you see what happened now, that it automatically stitched everything, the full upper jaw, the full lower jaw. This is good when you're scanning a quadrant only until the midline. But if you're scanning a full arch, I strongly recommend that you take a double bite. So I take one bite from the right side, and then I go and I take another bite from the left side, also the premolar molar area. And these are the double bites. Now we are done with scanning the first case, and there are more tips and tricks that we will come to in future cases, including that if you click on the arrow down here, you also get the possibility of using the scanner as an intraoral camera. So you can select video and picture and select if you want to take a photo. Then you can hold the camera, go to the premolar, to the molar, for example, and with the foot pedal on the cart or manually on the screen in the laptop, you can just take one photo, two photos, three photos, four photos, for example, and then I can go back and I can select video. And again, I can start recording, and I can record anything that I would like to keep for my records or that I would like to send to my lab. Then stop. Then you see that you have 5 files here. One is the video, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures, okay, that you are using the camera as an intraoral scan. You can delete and you can go back to the scan over here. So as you see, the scan is now locked. You see these locks on each and every folder. You need to unlock and unlock. And then you see that you can scan more if you want to do any scanning, or you want to take videos and pictures. We are on the scanning now. In the next modules, we will also discuss 2 important features in the scanning. One is adding adding catalogs. And we have here upper, lower, upper, and buccal, which is buccal is the buccal bite. But we can add 6 more catalogs. So if I click, for example, biocopy upper, if I click biocopy lower, all these are additional folders, are additional catalogs that we can scan. I will not go into the details of this right now, but all I would like you to remember, please, is that you can add 6 additional catalogs. 3 are upper and 3 are lower, regardless of the names. Gingiva mask or biocopy or scan body. Of course, scan body would be for the implants. Biocopy would be if you want to scan preoperatively or a mock-up that you want to copy. Makes sense. Gingiva mask if you want to scan the gingiva before retraction, for example. These are all possibilities, true, but please remember that you have any 3 lower catalogs and 3 upper catalogs. Even it doesn't have to be upper and lower. I can scan, if I want to raise the vertical dimension, we can also scan an additional catalog with an additional byte. We will come to that. This is just one thing that I wanted to show. The other thing is that we can always cut in the acquisition. So I can use the acquisition, for example, if I go to the lower jaw, I can use the acquisition to cut any additional tissue I don't want to have. So you always start by double clicking. It's a double click, and then you direct the line anywhere you want, and then single click, it saves what you did. And then you can change the direction, single click, single click, single click, and then double click, and then clicking on apply will remove this area. Okay, I did not have to do this because this soft tissue finger in this case will get deleted in the calculation anyway. But where the cut tool is important is, for example, if you scan and you realize at this point that maybe there is bleeding in a certain area that you would like to scan a part of the model again. So I can always cut and click start with a double click, single click, single click. So you can shape this as much as you want, and then end with a double click. The beginning is a double click, the end is a double click, and then click on apply. And then I can always rescan this area again. Okay, so I'll keep it at this for now. I think these are 2 important tools in the acquisition that you need to be aware of. And we'll come back with another case again from the start in the 3rd module, go to the model phase and go more and more into the software. Thank you very much. See you in the next module.